Is it otherworldly or a synapse in the brain? Trapped in a car or caught up in a terror attack, it's those moments while fighting for survival that some people report an overwhelming sense of calm, piercing through the panic. It's repeatedly described as spiritual, even divine. Could it be the work of guardian angels? ABC's Jay Shadler discovers some very surprising answers.
I can't hear.
In a moment of mayhem, or in that instant of exquisite fear.
And I looked at my air gauge and I thought, okay, this is it.
Human beings often report being comforted by an invisible companion.
You know, only my guardian angel could have saved me from such an accident as that.
Rose Benvenuto says she glimpsed hers at the scene of a terrible car wreck. Nick Sedoya never felt alone, though lost for days in a California canyon.
Did you at any point give up hope?
No, never. I had my buddy who died last year by my side. I felt his presence.
And the last words Felix Baumgartner heard before stepping from the brink of space en route to setting the world's skydiving record were these.
Okay, here we go. And our guardian angel will take care of you.
Again and again and again, as my guardian angel was here. Who is the guardian angel?
Well, that's the great mystery, isn't it?
John Geiger, an internationally known explorer and author, has been investigating this phenomenon for years. His book, The Third Man Factor, lays out his theory.
The stories are always similar, that there's a sense of another being, a presence, very vividly. There's never any fear or panic when this being appears. There's just a sense of calm, peace.
It happened to Stephanie Schwab.
I'm about as religious as a piece of wood.
While cave diving for a research project in the Bahamas, she suddenly lost her guide rope. In an instant, her life was on the line.
I suddenly realized that I was in trouble. I knew my heart rate, I could hear it bouncing in my ears. And I just kind of sat down on the floor and I started crying. I never cried underwater before.
Only weeks before, Stephanie's husband and diving partner, Rob Palmer, had died in a diving accident in the Red Sea. And now, alone, she's facing her own dark death.
Suddenly the whole cave just brightened up.
And into that world floated the words of Stephanie's husband. Believe you can, believe you can't. Either way, you're right.
And then I calmed down, and then I suddenly looked around and I saw what I thought was a thread, a white thread, which is my guideline is white. So I floated up, and lo and behold, it was my line. He was there for me in a way, you know, in an emotional way.
So how is Stephanie's experience to be explained?
Isn't this just possibly an hallucination?
No, I don't think it is a hallucination. I think what people are experiencing is a very concrete survival mechanism that is, part of our human heritage.
Geiger believes that in a life-threatening crisis, our minds experience both the terror of the moment and the peace of perspective.
And then the brain is able to sort of stand back from that and sort of rise above that and rationally figure out a way to help this person get through that.
So the guardian angel is us.
The guardian angel is us.
In extreme cases, our subconscious companion appears to take the form of a physical or spiritual entity. Rose Benvenuto, for example, believes this photograph, seen by millions on the internet, is proof of the guardian angel who helped her escape from a near-fatal car accident. John Geiger doesn't see it that way.
When I see a picture like that, I'm skeptical.
And yet voices, he says, like the one Stephanie Schwab heard, seem to be almost commonplace.
And they'll always say they heard a voice, but then if I say, well, was it audible? Would other people have heard the voice? No. So there's a communication that's happening
inside them.
Sometimes the communication isn't with sound, but with images. A few weeks ago, Marty Hodges took his 2 teenage boys skiing in Colorado. Wide open spaces, perfect for a man with an extreme case of claustrophobia. But then, an avalanche.
And I saw it just coming towards me. It's really fast.
and I couldn't do anything. Then I finally, like, my goggles ripped off. Then I had snow coming down my throat. I couldn't breathe for like 15 seconds.
For me, you know, when I was hit by the snow and I immediately was turned inside out in this complete blackness, I was sure I was going to die.
But instead of being paralyzed by his claustrophobia, Marty's mind delivered an even more chilling vision and a reason to fight his way free.
I could see myself literally at Denver International Airport, out on the tarmac, watching him go in an old-fashioned pine box being slid into the back of a 757, you know what I mean? And I could see it very clear.
Where did that image come from?
I have no idea.
Driven by that haunting image, Marty instantly made his decision. Battling through the snow, he was able to search for and then reunite with his sons. And just last week in Boston, Steve Byrne, standing at the finish line when the first bomb exploded, made a split-second decision to turn away from where the next bomb would wreak its havoc.
I know that 1 second different and 6 inches to the right, and it would have been a whole different outcome for myself. The guardian angel was definitely over my shoulder that day.
Left unanswered, of course, is why so many others never found their guardian angels. Still, in the end, all of these cases remind us again that it can be a very rough universe out there. To survive it, a little help from an invisible companion might just be essential.
Humans are very resilient, and I think that the basis of that resilience, in part, is this capacity, this sense that we are not alone.
Jay Shagler for Nightline in New York.